All right, everyone, welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. And I want to give an update on my account. So I did a brief history of my account. I will have this, I'll put this on a playlist so you guys can see it, kind of do updates on my account. That was about 2 months ago that I did that video. So I wanted to kind of give you guys an update on what's happened since I published that video, what I'm doing right now, what I see my future being, and then kind of give you guys a, you know, if I was in a perfect situation, what I would be doing right now, right? Kind of like if I hadn't made mistakes along the way, or if I'd been, consistently playing, didn't take a long break, kind of like what I think I could have. So we'll kind of make this video, it might be a little bit longer, but before we hop into my update, guys, I just want to say, please like and subscribe, comment on the video if you guys have questions or, you want to comment your status. I'd love to hear from you. Again, by liking this video, by subscribing to my channel, it's free. It helps me grow the channel, and it, will allow me to be able to give you guys more content. So appreciate all the love and support from you guys. So yeah, let's hop into the roster here. So you guys will see that, now since my last video, we'll scroll down a little bit. I do have my Jedi Master Kenobi at Relic 7. That was it's been a huge boost to the roster. I'm not going to lie. It's really given me a leg up in not only like territory wars and territory battles, but Grand Arena as well. Otherwise, since then, I've begun working on my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren farm, so you'll see my Kylo Ren Unmasked is now Relic 7. And then in between my Jedi Master Kenobi and Supreme Leader Kylo Ren farm, I did go around and get my Sith Empire. I finally got Darth Revan and Malak. So I already had Sith Marauder at Relic 7 from Sith Eternal. So I went and put on Relic 3 to Sith Trooper, Bastila, and Darth Revan with a Relic 5 Malak. And then I also went ahead and reliced my Enfys Nest to Relic 3. That was again, another Grand Arena territory war kind of investment that I wanted to make sure that I was giving myself some breathing space, that while I could have had, a lot farther progress on my Kylo, I felt that by getting Malak and Nest, that I would have a more, well-rounded roster and be able to compete earlier in Grand Arena with other opponents who had those characters. So we'll kind of scroll back to the top here. And in that space, I've also done a lot of mod slicing. So I've increased my mod count, for 6 dots by quite a bit here. Really just kind of, you scroll through, you guys will see, like, I've got only 2 on Malak because he's got all protection mods, so I really haven't been focusing a ton of time there. And then my Bastila's got 4 mods sliced, but, it's been a pretty good process for me so far of just kind of balancing that, working on mod slicing materials while also getting gear for my First Order farm now. So if we go to my journey guide, kind of take a look at my Kylo farm, you'll see I've got 3 relics here that I went for Kylo Unmasked first. Then I went for OG Kylo, and then Captain Phasma. Again, my Phasma, she now has the Omicron, Zeta. That was a territory war decision for me, that if I could get a team like that earlier on, I was going to be able to help my guild. I was kind of feeling selfish about not having a territory war Omicron, so I wanted to make sure that I could, just support my guild in that way. Otherwise, you guys will see that I've got my Hux and Sith Trooper favorited, farming them. There's actually double drops going on right now, which is awesome. So, that's been, a nice blessing to my gear and shard farm here. So my next character to relic will probably be my First Order officer here. So just kind of working on his gear 13 pieces. And then I'm thinking I'll probably go the First Order Stormtrooper route, just kind of get another tank in this team. It's kind of like the harder route. I'm thinking that he'll be a better investment for me rather than like First Order Executioner, who, I could take to gear 11 now, but I'd rather kind of save that gear for somebody like Stormtrooper and get them up faster. So before we jump to ships, I'll kind of walk through my favorited characters here. So Fennec Shan has kind of been a passion project for me. So she had those bonus drops, which were really nice to, work on her to get to 7 stars. So I'm planning after Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, my next couple of characters that I plan on relicking will probably be Fennec Coyote Mundi, and Dark Trooper. I don't know when I'll have Coyote Mundi 7 stars. Probably going to be another 6 months. So again, probably be down the line at some point. But when I have the chance, I will get him to Relic and kind of put other things on hold, just because that'll give me another Jedi that will be really, really helpful. But my Fennec and Dark Trooper, I just want to get, to Relic levels to make their respective teams better. And then you guys will see Zam, Grief, and Mando. So Zam is obviously a Galactic Legend requirement for Lord Vader, and so my goal with that will be get her ready, give her the Omicron, and then my Grief, Karga, and Mando, gear them up with Fennec, and I'll have a team that right now is able to counter Lord Vader. I don't know if I'll use them with that in that light, because Bosk seems to get annihilated below like Relic 9 and amazing mods, and so I don't think I'll be quite there yet by the time I get my characters up and running, but it'll just give me another team to again compete at that top level. And then otherwise you guys will see that I've got my Bad Batch and Embo and then Maul favorited. So Maul, buying shards and conquest, just keeps him at the top of my roster here. And then my Embo and Bad Batch are favorited, that when I'm ready to start working towards Lord Vader, I can go ahead, start farming them. I already have Wrecker 7-star from farming the Republic Y-Wing, so I really don't need, I'm not having him favorited yet, because I really don't, like you guys will notice in the journey guide, this is where I use my characters to figure out where to place gear. And then this area I kind of use for characters that like would not necessarily be inside of a journey guide to gear, or I'm farming their shards, and so I just want to easily be able to click into Hux and farm his shards. So I'm gonna pop over to ships here. So you'll see that I have 3 Sith ships favorited here. I started doing this because I noticed that my Empire fleet was kind of just, I don't want to say struggling, but it just really wasn't fully formed yet. And I was really relying on TIE Fighter Pilot, who now has to go with Malevolence to counter the Executor. So, working on these ships, just trying to get a stronger fleet put together there. And then I scroll down to the bottom here. I did get Max Crate for the TIE Interceptor, planning to do that again this conquest, and then I'll buy 5 shards and just kind of keep it in the reinforcement slot to take advantage of its reinforcement bonus here. Which I believe is, I forget which one the unique is, but yeah, I'll be trying to, work on this so that way we can, get the, reduce the cooldown of our capital ship by 1. I forget what ability that is. But yeah, so we'll be doing that, just working towards, again, getting better fully fleshed fleets. Working on my finalizer. That's kind of, even though my Hux is like level 1, gear 1, not even 7-star, my finalizer is level 50. I've really been able to get some good use out of the finalizer event because of the other ships that I've needed for Executor. And then now with a TIE Silencer, I mean, it's, much easier. So that's been a really good investment for me. Otherwise, I did get the Evan Hawk to 7-star, which has made countering the Executor easier. I do have a 4-star Echelon and a 4-star Star Fortress. So that's been really good. Just kind of, again, working towards getting better and better ships here. So otherwise, guys, nothing crazy. I wouldn't say anything crazy happening on ships, just kind of been really focused on getting characters and mods situated. So then again, I kind of, like I said, where I'm heading next is, getting some bounty hunters ready, just kind of making sure that I could get another team out of them. And then, of course, working towards Lord Vader. Now, I'll say that the reason I'm going Lord Vader instead of Rey is just that looking at the gear that I would need for both of them, I think Lord Vader will be a better investment for me. That's just because I think the best Rey team doesn't really involve the Resistance, and so I'd rather build up some of those other characters like Vandor, Chewbacca, L3, whatever the case is, for Rey first, or maybe, throw them with a dash team or something. So I'm just kind of saving Rey towards the end when I can work on her kind of at my leisure. And otherwise, I think with Lord Vader, getting the Bad Batch for me is going to be a really, really big step. And then I think like looking through the characters I would need for Lord Vader here, if I just pop open and switch my journey guide. So we'll come over here and we go, oops, sorry about that, misclicking. So we come into the journey guide, and I mean, I've got, you know, relics on a lot of them, right? You know, like we're most of the way through, you know, General Skywalker, Padme, Dooku, you know, Echo, ARC Trooper. Like we're getting there, right? Like it's not like we're way behind on this. Now, obviously, like there's no gear on my Bad Batch, Embo, or Tusken Raider, but the nice thing for me is that by the time that I'm ready to start farming them, you know, we'll be good to go, right? That with the new Grand Arena change, I've been able to invest a lot more in gear, mods, etc. So it's been a really, really good, you know, change for me and my roster. But so I'm gonna switch back to my Kylo here real quick. But I did say that I did want to kind of mention what I think my roster would have looked like had I not taken a break. And so I think, you know, now I'm free to play, right? Or I should say I'm not spending money actively. I try to avoid the term free to play. I think that free to play can be a bit misleading at times because, you know, if I say, oh, I'm free to play, and then I go and spend $20 down the line, like no longer free to play. So the best way to say it is I don't spend money. And that way you're, you know, you're being a little, you know, you're more truthful and you're leaving that door open that it potentially could have happened. Or in my case, I did spend $20 way back when Commander Luke Skywalker was first released. I still kind of regret that. It still haunts me to this day. But, you know, saying I'm not spending money. Like I spent $20 on the game years ago and took a massive break. So, I mean, any advantage I would have gained from it, long gone. But that's beside the point. So it's kind of why I don't like the term free to play is that, it, you know, like you're not, one, I'm not free to play because I did spend, but two, it's better just to say I don't spend money. And that way you give people a better perspective on how much progress you can make. But all that being said, I think I would probably have, I don't know that I would have all of the GLs because I was in a very good guild and I had a very, very, like, what I'll say, a quote unquote, like fleshed out roster, you know, that I was able to really have a lot of things farmed up, starred, and that, you know, I would have been able to focus more on things. I'd probably have more relics, definitely have more relics. But I think that I wouldn't have been stalled on certain things because of I already would have had them, right? So, you know, I don't want to say that I would have all of them because, you know, Lord Vader hasn't been out long enough for me to be able to have probably farmed Bad Batch with, you know, and getting Kenobi and stuff like that. But, you know, I would have had more GLs here. Definitely probably 5. I don't know if I would have had 6. But I think that my progress on my account would look a lot different just because of the amount of time I took off and when I did that I could have been focusing on other things. But, you know, hindsight's 2020. But my advice to, you know, if anybody's still watching, comment down below and say, hey, you know, I'm here. But my advice for you guys is if you did, you know, if you're struggling with trying to farm multiple things at once, don't. Take a breath. Think about 2 things. What can you do the fastest, right? And what will make your roster into the best it can be. And so that was kind of my decision making between Lord Vader and Kylo, that while I think Lord Vader is a better GL than Kylo, I think that I could get Kylo faster. And so they're both galactic legends, they're both fantastic, but if I can get one sooner, that's the one I'm going to go with. Get it in my roster, get it going, and then focus on the next thing. But, you know, if you're still watching, guys, thank you so much for, you know, sitting through me and, you know, humoring me through my update here. Again, just one more time, like and subscribe to the channel, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.